there's no way we will allow our son, despite his own personal weaknesses, to be attacked in public, humiliated, whereas we have enough ideas to mediate. Talking about the Natasha Akpoti, Godswill Akpabio feud, which was a National Assembly sitting arrangement issue, well, because a very careless statement by Akpabio's aide turned that National Assembly issue to a personal war. An aide to Akpabio, after that problem at National Assembly, wrote that Natasha comes to the Senate, National Assembly, with in transparent clothes.
I read that.
No sane person will keep quiet. And I've not seen proofs from that quarters. I've not heard what has happened to the person, but that's not the issue. When an accident is imminent, you look for the way out with less casualty. Now Natasha, coming back from US, went to Kogi State, held a rally despite the ban, whereas the police and those in authorities were on the road blocking convoys. She flew in a helicopter. I know that approval was given from somewhere. Helicopters don't fly like that. She flew in a helicopter, and guess what she said? She said, His Excellency Godswill Akpabio made arrangement for her to be recalled, which has so far failed now, though they might still do something about it. And then, not just that, that he conscripted the former governor, Yahaya Bello, to make arrangement for her to be killed, to be assassinated. We cannot, as a people, pretend that we have not heard that. We don't know the truth, because Natasha said there that she has already written to the IG before saying this. And His Excellency Godswill Akpabio, we are hearing that he may likely go to court or do this. We want to, as Open Forum, we are advocating. Is there no way we, our leaders, can stand up to mediate, find out who is at fault privately, and see how to reconcile these two people? Because there's a saying at the many times on Natasha is not the regular Nigerian women. Natasha is in the breed of Akwa Ibom women of the 1929 Women's War in Ikorobasi, who fought Europeans because they could not take what the men could take. So, if Natasha is in that mode, what should we do? Supposing our son has erred in the way, what can we do? Because National Assembly members, by my rating, are not helping Godswill Akpabio. There are some things the senator said that he is so comfortable, so happy, so proud that he can come and sit with somebody who was a governor in 1999. Who was I then? I'm sitting with him. Look at this small girl. My mother doesn't have a child at her age. That shows that some people are not fit for where they are. We need to help Akpabio. You are a party man, and that was the man you midwifed to be governor as chairman of the party in the state. Would you recommend or add your voice to our advocacy that our leaders in the Akwa Ibom state should reach out to leadership at both national? We are saying that a state of emergency should be declared. That does not involve sacking anybody. Yes, the state of emergency is to take extraordinary measures to safeguard the integrity of the National Assembly, integrity of our son Akpabio. What is your position, Total Chair?
I think the whole thing has been blown out of proportion.
Right from one set.
Now, let me expand on that. I'll expand on that. A routine movement of seats in the National Assembly can call for. You can forgive Natasha for feeling unhappy about her seat being moved, about this, and
without her being informed.
You can forgive her for that, but you cannot forgive her for the absolute misbehavior on the floor of the House. And it is that misbehavior that the Senate worked on, and she was suspended. It's just that simple.
But talking about suspension, Total Chair, let me add this, please, because we are researchers and we are an ideas bank. There are enough cases, about I think 10 of them, as quoted by Falana, where those suspensions have been voided. You don't suspend any legislator, even councillor, more than 14 days.
Yes.
And Falana even said that.
Well, I mean, it doesn't make it right that she was suspended for 6 months.
Yes.
But she has been suspended.
Exactly.
It is not Akpabio who suspended her.
Yes.
And so, for it, I think, this is my personal opinion, that this whole thing is orchestrated and it's more than meets the eye. I mean, it is not for the movement of seats.
Yes.
That Natasha created that mayhem.
It is the statement by the aide that made Natasha to go to court.
No, I think you yourself are mixing it up.
Okay, let me hear you, sir.
It starts from the House, from the
Senate.
Now, it is in reaction to that Senate altercation that Akpabio's aide made those kind of statements. Now, much as reprehensible as those statements are, and in fact they are, I don't even know how His Excellency Akpabio gets by with such people. How do you even... I read that statement, it is reprehensible.
Absolutely.
But what has that got to do with Akpabio? This is a man who has been employed as a professional. And rightfully too, Natasha has taken the case to court, Abi.
Yes.
So she should face her case in court. What's that got to do with Akpabio?
Now,
Akpabio didn't say anything about her. Abi.
We need to remedy the situation because
we are not going to remedy the situation, in my own view, if we go energizing the rascality of Natasha.
What do we do moving forward, sir?
We have to face... Look, can't Nigeria ever solve anything through the legal process? Can't Nigeria ever solve anything through their own rules and behaving properly? What did Akpabio do other than say, Natasha, move your seat? And that is not even what then began to reign. It was Natasha now claiming that Akpabio harassed her sexually. My goodness. And Natasha is a senator. Senators are supposed to be taken seriously. And I have followed her, and she keeps changing her sentences, her statements.
Notice that.
I mean, for Christ's sakes. This is not child's play. It now looks like all she's out there to do is to malign the Senate.
There's a saying, there's a saying, sir.
Yes.
And when I'm Mariba, is this two fighting, as we should say in school?
It's not two fighting.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm just quoting what we say in school.
Is the Senate president.
Yes.
He is not even in the fray. It is if you have not, what has Akpabio said ever since then?
But the family court and the wife went to court.
No, that's in court. You have the right to go to court, for God's sake.
Good, but this
is in court.
This new dimensions.
Has she said anything?
This new dimensions of the IG being petitioned, and this woman is calling people's names like Senator Ekpenyon was the one that drove Yahaya Bello to the hotel, and she may even have facts because I've read somewhere she said her facts, her evidence, she will not bring on TV or on social media because it's meant for the court.
Nobody wants her to bring her evidence on TV or on paper. Let her go to court. Let us be civilized for a change.
Okay.
Now, let me continue with this Natasha thing. Because when I sit down and see people who say, oh, because we should go and settle. I like settlement, but settlement at what cost? What exactly has Godswill done that is wrong in this case, other than move this lady from her seat, which was officially what she should.
We as a forum, we put the blame on the officers of the Senate. We were told she was not informed. There are things that we must not take for granted.
Even so,
because there are people you cannot push over anyhow.
No, please. What do you mean?
No, that's there is a modicum
of behavior.
that is expected.
You remember that Akpabio himself was involved in that
He was.
altercation with
And we've seen fighting.
No, he did not fight.
No, not him.
He apologized.
Absolutely. Total chair. Sorry, I am saying that
we may not like many of the things Akpabio does occasionally.
Yeah.
But in this case, listen, if you are the number 3 man in the country, there is a way that you absorb insults. And he did it. All these alternate, and from there he's accused of sexual harassment, this and this such infantile things.
It is embarrassing.
And the women of this country,
yes,
they just latch onto it for their own reasons. Not one of them has spoken to Natasha.
That is the issue.
The 4 women in the Senate have themselves said Natasha has not sat down with them, and they have claimed that as senators they have been well treated. Yes, there is discrimination, but not to that extent. And as a matter of fact, Natasha herself is one of the most favored senators in the place. So let's not begin to be squeamish about taking on this thing is beyond seats.
It is beyond.
They are going after Akpabio's seat.
That has to do with us. It has to do with us as a people. We must rise up to be able to defend.
So how do you rise up to go and negotiate with Natasha?
We don't negotiate.
No,
I'm not saying negotiation.
Look,
yes.
Citizen.
Yes, sir.
We all know Akpabio. He has his own faults. Everybody in Akwa Ibom, they know that. His fault does not include going to conspire with other people to kill anybody. I don't think that is part of his fault. This woman brings that, even that, as weighty as
it is,
into her own. Listen, she will pay for all those things she's saying. And eventually, the truth must out. And when this truth out, you find out that it was something more than seats.
Elisha Abu has come back to recant what he even apologized earlier. That means some persons are plotting, and the thing is sponsored somewhere.
You cannot put anything outside that. It is possible. But the point is, for those who can pray, please pray for Akpabio. For those who can do anything, do it. Let us for once in Nigeria. This is our, people strut around, they say that we look at what they just do. Look at what they just do. You don't go after an Ijaw and then expect to be taken with gloves.
That's true.
You don't go after Akpabio. You've got to talk to me first. I am a fair-minded, very, very lawfully oriented person. So I will not support Akpabio where Akpabio is wrong.
That's right.
At the very best, or worst if you like, I'll keep quiet. But if I have come out now and say, look, leave this man alone. If you have something against him, go to court. Go to your committee. Stop scandalizing the man without reply.
The more reason why we won't keep quiet, because whatever happens to Akpabio will affect Akwa Ibom State and who we are. So we need to protect him. We also need to protect anybody that is vulnerable, because there must be balancing in nature. Otherwise, the price will be enormous. I never knew this very topic issue was going to take us so much time, but it's worth it.
No, it agitates me.
Yeah,
because I've seen what they've done to Akpabio. Pound for pound, I'm not one who bothers about little things. And this is actually a little thing.
I refuse.
We are talking about the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for God's sake. And you are talking about holding your hands, holding your buttocks. What kind of nonsense is this?
Total, believe me, I refused to read anything about that matter when it started until it got out of, and I said no, it was mismanaged from onset. We want to rise. If you are listening to us, please, whatsoever, you may like Akpabio, you may hate him, you hate Akpabio. It's not Akpabio now. It is about Akwa Ibom. It's about Niger Delta. It's about the South. That we have a Senate president.
It is also about proper
behavior.
And at this moment, I don't see Akpabio has behaved very badly. He has done nothing other than say to them, Madam, go to your
No,
seat.
compared to what we are seeing, you cannot say that.
Of course.
Yes,
So
that's what I'm saying.
I think he has done well.
Please,
in his management.
whatever is your communication, try and defend the truth. Try and protect
Exactly.
our son. Try and protect the Senate, because this tenure will be written in history. I learned she appeared in New York Times over the weekend.
Because they empowered her.
Yeah, the empowerment is what we're talking about.
Because they empowered her.
She got license to fly helicopter.
It doesn't matter. This is the point about empowering the wrong people. If you empower a person to the point of being able to hire a helicopter, that person should be regular enough at least to know what is damaging to a country. You take my Senate to the International Parliamentary Union and you talk about sexual harassment.